Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Japan-exclusive Tales of games for the PSP miniseries.
You know, that series I did a while back that I totally kept up with and didn't forget about because I'm a sure responsible person who doesn't procrastinate, and if I'm wrong, may God strike me dead.
Okay, well... Today I'm going to be covering a game called... Good. Tales of Versus. Perfect. There's nothing in here. It's all a lie.
Tales of Versus. This is a Tales-themed fighting game released for the PSP in 2009, which was never brought to the States. You heard me right, a Tales-based fighting game. I can only assume that the premise was first conceptualized like so.
Tales of Legendia から来た俺としては、斬新な投げ技を最大限に生かしたゲームを提案したい。ズバリ、対戦格闘ゲームだ。
でもさ、リーチが短くて必殺技が投げのキャラって大抵弱キャラだぜ。
投げ技をなめるなよ。
ラウンド1、ファイト。マジンケン、マジンケン、マジンケン、マジンケン、マジンケン、マジンケン、マジンケン。
Frankly, the idea of the 2D-rooted Tales franchise being converted into a 2D fighter doesn't seem bad at all. The mechanics are already pretty well established, and the linear motion battle system should transition rather smoothly into the fighting genre. Well, at least it could have, had it not focused so much on aping one of the most popular fighters at the time, Smash Bros. Yes, this game takes the uncommon yet somehow stale direction of a 4-player 2D brawler. Oh, Shatsky's harsh criticism so early in the review! I have a sneaking suspicion this review might be leaning towards the negative side. Wink. Shut up. I'm busy. Doing a review, don't interrupt me. I'll kick you right in your butt cheeks, mister. The gameplay is combo-centric and takes place in wide-open stages with differing arrangements of platforms. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Well, I say differing, but that might be being a bit too generous. They all feel, look, and play very similarly, and the different environments just sort of blend together. Really, just slap little white dresses on two of them and they could pass for the twins in The Shining. As far as basic battle mechanics go, you essentially are required to smack your opponent upside the head until they don't get up no more, you know? The standard fighty affair. You use the circle button to string together a normal attack combo and the cross button to use arts you set yourself. There are 4 slots for arts activated by holding neutral, up, side, or down on the D-pad while pressing cross, and they chain in the typical fashion of basic to master to arcane. And it's right here that the first problem I have with this game comes to life. Or dies. Or I mean, whichever's worse. Each character learns upwards of 10 to 15 arts, but a very small fraction of these are actually useful in combat, and an even smaller number are capable of chaining into other attacks. This is an area where the gameplay unfortunately suffers greatly. All arts are pulled directly from their respective characters' original move pools with no alterations at all. This doesn't seem like an issue at first. In fact, one could easily chalk this up to authenticity to the source material, but problems and balancing issues arise when you try and blend the old arts into a new system of game mechanics. Hell, even the reliability of the combos is shaky due to arts not meshing well with the environment, and even when you do find that magical combination, the basic to master to arcane limitation means that the one combo you find is the only one you'll be using. Oh, well, there goes my own combo. I don't care. I didn't need it anyway. It was stupid and ugly and had stupid smelling face. This means that there are certain parts of the stage in which you can break your own combos depending on the arts you use. 'Cause that's fun. Magics are used in the game as well. Oh, whoa, holy shit, this is cool and unique, and this is going to be so new and interesting, and I'm filled with such hope that's not in the least bit sarcastic. This mechanic is actually a big letdown, as this could have been a perfect thing to set this game apart from other fighters. Instead, casting is ported directly to this game without a single alteration. To use magic, which takes up an art slot by the way, you need to stand perfectly still and cast for an extended period of time before, poof, some damage happens to the guy you're targeting. Combat in a fighter is supposed to be fast-paced and reactive. Utilizing this slow mechanic here just comes off as boring and tedious to deal with. Imagine, you're in the middle of concentrating on fighting 2 enemies and suddenly a third begins to cast. You need to break your concentration, jump over to the caster, and give him a quick smack to prevent the hellstorm of the ancients from falling upon you. Not to mention, it's absolutely game-breaking. The game likes to outnumber you with enemies in battle, which, on its own, is complete bullshit factory. But when 1 or more enemies can cast, well, welcome to Stunlock Heaven. It would have been much better if the spells could have been adapted and integrated the same way they were in Tales of the Heroes. Spells there were quick, fun, and didn't break the balance of the game or the flow of combat. Also, there are healing spells in this game. I shouldn't need to describe why that's a bad idea. As a whole, the game feels incredibly sloppy and, dare I say, very unfinished. Movement feels very sluggish and imprecise, jumping feels like you're being carried by a hot air balloon, and interacting with the platforms can get a little glitchy. Everything about this game feels broken. When you're knocked down, your character decides to take a nice siesta and maybe have a nice margarita before suddenly remembering, oh, I'm in a fight, and decides to get up again. In a game like Smash Bros., you have an expedient recovery roll, and even better, the tech roll. What does this game do? Basically just nails your character to the floor for a set period of time while you go and make a sandwich, come back, and finally you can play again. Here's the thing, the entirety of the metagame boils down to just one thing, overlimit. Your overlimit gauge builds slowly over time, but it can also be greatly augmented by picking up light orbs that fall from the sky. You know, the way light orbs do. These orbs can boost your gauge by anywhere from 1/4 to 3/4 max. Where you need to fight for a solid minute to fill your gauge halfway, these orbs fall with a fucking dog whistle level of frequency. Ha ha! That's a science joke. Anyone, do you like it? No? Okay. That's fine. With powered up attacks, unlimited TP, and super armor, Overlimit is broken enough, but add to the fact that everyone's mystic art can one-hit kill opponents more than double your level, and this becomes the dominating factor of any battle. This means that the optimal strategy here is to constantly run away and collect overlimit orbs, then spam your mystic art until the CPU has lost all lives. Oh, and the CPU knows this fact as well, and it is constantly fleeing from you and collecting items.
Rolling around at the speed of sound, got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Can't stick around, have to keep moving on. Guess what lies ahead? Only one way to find out.
This brings me to another unfortunate design choice in this game, the camera. The default view is a zoomed-in perspective on your character and the enemy you're targeting. Oh yes, there is a targeting system in this game, and yes, it's just as wonky as you'd imagine, with every press of the R button cycling blindly through the enemies on screen. In order to get the camera to be anything near workable, you need to press the L button to zoom out. Granted, that's simple enough, but when you have to do it for every single battle, it can get very annoying. The camera, once zoomed out, still refuses to show the entire stage. This means that enemies will sometimes break away from combat to go venturing across the map. Why? Well, it's because an item spawned somewhere way over in the fucking Alps and they happen to know somehow. I understand that bringing the camera back to fit the entirety of the stage into perspective would make the combat difficult to make out with the PSP's native resolution, but holy hell, why did they make the stages so gigantic? I can't imagine why the designers felt the need for more space to include more generic platforms, but all this accomplishes is giving the AI the ability to endlessly evade the player.
Tales of Versus is a game that I didn't like so much. The concept is fine. I mean, it's like a Tales fighting game. That's fucking cool. It's 2 things. You put them together, it might be cool. The roster is okay. It's got Ash. You can play as Ash. It doesn't have Flynn. Fuck the roster. Playing this game is a lot like wanting to play with Silly Putty, but instead getting a pile of paper mache. I mean, it's kinda sorta like the thing you wanted, and you can maybe, try and play with it, but as soon as you try, you'll realize how gross and disgusting it really is, and probably vomit or something. And then what do you have? A desire, a lust for Silly Putty and a pile of vomit, and also paper mache. Paper mache might soak it up. In which case, paper mache is better. I'm trying to say Tales of Versus is amazing, and if you want to vomit, this is the game for you.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video. It means a lot that you went through the whole thing. Kudos to you. So, anyway, while you're here, maybe I could recommend to you some other videos I did, one of which is a review, much like this one, on a game much like this one. It's Tales of the Heroes Twin Brave for the PSP. So you know that's relevant. The other thing I'd like to recommend is my sister and I actually started a Let's Play of Super Mario Galaxy. And it's been fun. We release about 1 episode a day, so you can go ahead and follow that if you wanna. Or you don't have to, that's cool. Hey, while you're at it, maybe you could subscribe if you like the things that I do, but I don't know, you don't have to. You could like the video, that'd be super cool of you. You could share it with somebody, that'd be extra cool of you. But you know, whatever. I don't care. I do care.
Already I fucked it up. Good. I can't see my face.
Sorry. You okay, bro?
Good. Who the fuck are you? Ooh, that was a stinger. That's.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh god. Your mouth did open.
Why are there 3 of them? I just want to start the motion at my head and jerk it around.
Anyone without any imagination. So it would help if I hit you, right?
I like your thinking. No.